Welcome back to Most Clicked. We are live every Monday at 9 a.m, bringing you the most clicked news item in HE digital marketing from the Education Marketer newsletter. As ever, I'm joined by my good friends Kyle Campbell and Matt Lees. I'm going to kick straight over to you, Kyle. What is this week's most clicked item?
We have a good entry this week, and something I've never come across before, something called an ad school. And disclaimer, when I first read this, I thought it said art school. My brain filled in that gap for some reason, but it's Denver Ad School. So it's essentially a higher education institution that specializes in giving young creatives and young marketing professionals that agency level training as part of their degree. So the whole purpose and point of the school is really interesting. But the thing that really caught my attention, and Matt, I'm sure you've got a really nice take on this as well, is the style of the copy, the use of imagery, and also that it's even built on a Squarespace site, which is something I've never come across before in a sort of an HE sort of sense. But if you just go onto this homepage, you can see how they really interrogated what they want to be known for. You know, they're taking risks with the sort of language that they use. I think they refer to their teaching as no bullshit teaching, or no bullshit academia, or something like that. And I just found it a really, really fresh take on how you can present like a proper higher ed institution. Matt, I'm going to hand over to you because you're a creative man, so I know this will be a big. You'll be a big fan of this one.
Yeah, this was big. We were all kind of drooling over it in our team for a number of reasons. Really, you kind of touched on the content, and I think there was one line that stood out to me, something like, "You pay us, and we'll help you get paid." That was a really nice way of putting it. You know, breaks the mold that we see day in, day out from other institutions. But yeah, visually as well, it's great. You touched on photography there, and I think that's a really good point. But actually, some of the elements that have no photography are the bits that really stand out to me. You know, we hear from institutions that kind of gathering photos is not always the easiest thing to do, but these big block color sections with bold typography going on, those are the bits that really stood out to me.
Yeah, it's stunning. And I also liked at the top in the main navigation, it's got a merch link, which I've never seen on a university or a college website. The fact that it highlights the products. People love this thing so much that you know they see it as a user route that they want to buy merch from them. And the quality of the merch is really good as well. And they do they do drops, so they're using that sort of language that you see in social commerce. And I thought, it's really cool. And the clothing looks awesome. It's not just a hoodie. I don't know if you all saw it, but it's like properly designed sort of like patterns and stuff like this. It's well thought out. It's a really nice site, and I think they've got a strong sense of who they are.
Yeah,
I think, as much as anything, it is a masterclass in how to put together a website without any pictures of campus, or without any pictures of, well, not of any students, because actually I think that's their lead photo, but throughout there's this really bold visual take for the entire website, and yet there's barely any campus pictures. To be honest, I don't even know if they've got a campus, and frankly, I don't care. It looks awesome. Like Matt said, the copy is on point, but this is a really good case study for if you're looking at something going, don't have too many images for this. Take a look at this. And I know it's blessed being an ad school and all that sort of stuff, and it's not the same as like an accounting school or whatever, but even still, it's a good case study for that, I think.
No, because it's built on Squarespace as well. I imagine it's probably quite easy to update.
Yeah.
I guess if you do have that niche, and your remit is very focused, you probably could go down that route. But if you're an enterprise sort of level and you've got like hundreds of courses and all that sort of thing, then
Well,
yeah, it's probably not going to be the most ideal choice.
this is what you and I talked about, Carl, in our webinar back in December, though, about niche institutions and stuff like that. And actually, the one thing I've been thinking about since then is why are like every university has like departments or schools or some format of that, and why I know there's this thing about identity and brand and stuff like that, but why aren't they able to kind of carve out more of an identity? And this maybe taking this sort of idea and expanding that to the kind of classic university scale. It seems something that's well, I've not seen it. I don't think. I was going to say it seems unexplored, but I don't think I've seen everything ever. But you just don't see it too much. I don't think.
I think
Even
it's
if institutions started to think about the different personalities across departments and
Yeah.
gave them the platform to kind of show that off. Like we deal with a lot of universities, and they have broad range of subjects from from English through to creative arts, and there's not a kind of one size fits all approach to delivering that on their site. So why not embrace that and bring something that allows you to have different personalities and show off different, because I imagine as well that the users go into those different departments have different wants and needs as well.
Yeah,
the
personality is such a perfect word to put to it. Like, and what you actually see from a lot of universities is the faceless kind of corporate identity of a business school, which is just the university logo with business school written underneath it in a slightly different color font or something. And
Yeah.
it does lack that personality that this site really leans into. And I think as a result, it speaks to its audience way better.
the creative in me is singing, but the web guy in me is terrified. Just because I've approached it from both angles, and I completely get what you're both saying. Don't get me wrong. But I've been on the other end of those conversations where we're trying to introduce personality into schools and having visual identity at a school level and all that. And there's often a lot of, and I'm sure you're both aware of this, but all the kind of not considered areas of how like creative design translates to existing components on the site and all that thing. But yeah, in principle, yeah, all behind it. I think like art schools in particular, and even business schools obviously can have that really distinctive creative identity. But the reality of like tiny web team rolling that out is often very different.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Well, that's a really interesting chat, and as always, would love to hear from anybody that has faced those challenges. Love to hear from anybody that is perhaps injecting more personality into their sites, whether that be university or at a kind of departmental level. I think that would be really interesting. Well, thanks, Matt and Kyle, for joining me once again. Mondays, 9 a.m. Join us every week. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and see you soon.